My Friend Pedro is a game developed by Dead Toast Entertainment and published by Devolver Digital. It was released on Microsoft Windows and Nintendo Switch on June 20th, 2019, as well as being released for Xbox One on December 5th, 2019, and being released for PlayStation 4 on April 2nd, 2020. In this game, you traverse a variety of themed levels, gunning down everything that moves, as well as everything that doesn't. Why are you doing this? Because a talking banana told you so. An experience you'll only see in video games and probably very heavy drug trips. Anyway, on your journey, you'll find many obstacles looking to put an end to your banana-requested genocide. One of these many obstacles are the bosses you'll encounter throughout the game. And today, I'll be giving you my opinion on the difficulty of these bosses, by ranking them from easiest to hardest. Also, all bosses were fought on the Bananas difficulty, which is the highest difficulty setting in the game. Also remember, this is just my opinion, so if you have to leave a comment telling me why I'm wrong, can you make sure I can read it and not just take a shit on your keyboard? But without further ado, let's begin with Number 5, Mitch the Butcher. The first boss in My Friend Pedro is also the easiest in my opinion. The first thing you'll notice about the fight with Mitch is that you're fighting him while riding on a motorcycle. And while on the motorcycle, I did find aiming to be a bit difficult, but that doesn't make this fight any harder. Mitch has two attacks, shooting at you with his shotgun and throwing explosives at you. And throughout the entire fight, he will cycle between those two attacks. Mitch is only vulnerable to attack when he pulls out his shotgun. As well, said shotgun attack is a joke to avoid, especially if you decide to activate focus. But it might be better to save your focus for when he launches his explosives, as to avoid it, you have to shoot them out of the air like in an action movie. Though it is possible to shoot all the explosives out of the air without focus, it's a lot easier to do with focus. As well, despite his attacks consisting of shotgun blasts and fucking explosives, they don't do a lot of damage. And you know, I've never experienced being blasted by a shotgun or being hit by an explosive, but I think I can confidently say that it would probably hurt a lot more than that. The way I like to deal with this fight is to use the Uzi when Mitch uses his shotgun attack, but when he uses his explosive attack, I'll switch to the pistol to conserve ammo. As well, sometimes a biker dude will just drop in, but he's easy to deal with. In fact, just as a testament to how easy Mitch is, the first time I fought him on the Bananas difficulty, I got a freaking S rank on my first try. And that was my first S rank ever in this game. I don't have footage of my fight with him where I got the S rank because I wasn't recording, but I doubt someone getting an S rank the first time they fight Mitch is too unbelievable a statement. Number 4, Vemmette. This boss seems really out of place in my opinion. I don't want to spoil a major twist in the game this early in the video, but I'll just say this. All the other bosses in the game are connected in a way that the mech isn't to any of them. I think that's a good way to put it without spoilers. The unique thing about the mech compared to the other bosses in the game gameplay-wise is that it has 2 health bars with 2 weak points corresponding to each one. One on the front and one on the back. The best way to beat the back hitbox is to roll under the mech, then fire at it, and then when the mech turns around, roll under it again and repeat until it breaks. This does work a bit on the front hitbox, though sometimes the mech will crouch down so you can't roll under it. The mech only has one attack, which is firing bullets at you. They're pretty easy to dodge and don't do too much damage, but if you do find yourself low on health, there are 2 health pickups in the arena. There's also a zipline you can use at the top of the arena to shoot at the mech while avoiding the bullets. So in conclusion, this fight is very easy. Number 3, Dennys Airship. I ran into a bit of a problem when ranking this fight's difficulty, and asked if I should have counted the level beforehand. This is because throughout the level you are being attacked by Dennys Airship, and it's only at the end of the level where you actually get to fight back. So should I have counted the whole level as the boss fight, or just the part where you get to fight back at the end of the level? At the end of the day, I decided to only count the end of the level where you get to fight back, but upon thinking about it, I don't think the placement of the airship would change whether I counted the rest of the level or not. And that's because 1, Mitch the Butcher and the mech are so easy that even without the level, I'd say they're easier than Dennys Airship. And the final 2 bosses in this game are so hard that they're harder than Dennys Airship with or without the level. But anyway, about the actual fight with Dennys Airship. The only way to damage Dennys Airship is to shoot the very well hidden weak point. And the only way to hit that weak point is to reflect your shots off of these conveniently placed signs. The airship attacks by shooting bullets at you, and the damage can build up pretty fast. So definitely use your dodge to avoid it. But cover in this fight hurts more than it helps, as Dennys Airship will easily rip through the boxes like it's nothing, as well the boxes hinder your movement a little. I've noticed that if the ship starts attacking from the top part of the arena, it will move down to also attack the bottom part. But when it starts attacking at the bottom part, it will not move up. As such, I found that a pretty good strategy for this fight is to stay in the bottom part of the arena and wait for it to attack. Then dodge and wall jump up to the top part of the arena to shoot at the sign to reflect your bullets off it and hit the weak point. So in conclusion, Dennys Airship is an easy boss. Number 2, Ophelia. I find Ophelia to be the easier of the 2 final bosses in My Friend Pedro. That being said, Ophelia is definitely not easy. The way Ophelia works is that she plays like an AI-controlled variant of your character, and as such has all the same moves as you. As well, Ophelia wields an AR-15, and while she thankfully can't use the grenade feature with it, it can still do quite a bit of damage if you don't dodge. There are health pickups in the arena if you take damage, but they're high up on platforms that you need to shoot to get the health pickups down, and it can be hard to aim accurately at them while trying to dodge Ophelia's attacks, though sometimes the platforms get destroyed by stray bullets. So this can mean that the health pickup can fall into the arena, and you might accidentally pick it up while you're at basically full health. And you don't want to waste those health pickups because Ophelia can do quite a lot of damage very quickly. And in terms of doing damage to her, I find Ophelia really hard to hit. One small reason being because she's pretty mobile, and a second big reason is because she keeps doing this.
I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. I'll try spinning, that's a good trick. I'll try spinning, that's a good trick.
So yeah, Ophelia can be pretty hard to hit due to the fact that she can dodge your attacks by spinning. Because as we all know, spinning is a perfect technique for dodging bullets. Just ask this guy here. Just like in the fight against Dennys Airship, the cover in this fight doesn't really help at all. This is because Ophelia's bullets shred through the boxes like they're nothing. Though you could argue this box at the edge of the arena helps you get to the top platform easier. Speaking of, bullets are able to pass through the top platform. So well, this means you can shoot her through the top platform, she can also shoot you through the top platform. So yeah, mix Ophelia's dodging ability and the fact that her attacks can be hard to dodge and do a lot of damage, and you have a pretty tough boss on your hands. In fact, I originally had Ophelia as the number 1 hardest boss in the game. But in the end, I decided that the honor of the hardest boss in My Friend Pedro belongs to number 1, Pedro.
Once when I was 7 years old, I sat on a banana, and of course, that changed my life.
So right now, a lot of you are probably thinking the same thing. That thing being, what the fuck am I looking at? Well, I'll tell ya. It's a man riding a walrus over an endless abyss while a giant floating banana tries to kill him. Video games are great, aren't they? At the start of the fight, Pedro's immune to gunfire, so the only way to damage him is to shoot the bombs he shoots at you back at him. This is easy enough at first, as Pedro is a pretty large target, but as he takes damage, he gets smaller and harder to hit. And sometimes instead of shooting a bomb, Pedro will upchuck a spiky ball. And if you shoot it, it splits into 2 smaller spiky balls. As well, you can't use your dodge move on the bomb, 4 the spiky balls. As well, both do a fuck ton of damage. Pedro has an attack where he shoots 4 bombs up into the sky that will then fall down. It's pretty easy to dodge, and you can shoot multiple of the bombs back at him for pretty big damage. Overall, Phase 1 isn't too bad. And then there's Phase 2. And, well, I've never been scared of a banana before, but I guess there's a first time for everything. And with this phase change comes a new attack pattern as Pedro pulls out 2 guns. From the looks of them, they appear to be pistols, which is odd because Pedro can fire them like a fucking machine gun. He must have a really good trigger finger, even though he doesn't have fingers. Unlike the rest of Pedro's attacks, you can use your dodge move to avoid these bullets. However, you can't use your dodge move to avoid Pedro's second attack in this phase. This is when he fires this spiky ball projectile from the first phase, except he does it multiple times, and remember, you can't use your dodge move to avoid these. And remember, if you shoot them, they split into 2, making them even harder to dodge. So yeah, this attack is pretty difficult to deal with. In this phase, Pedro is not immune to gunfire, and you aim for his head to damage him. Between both phases, this fight is also probably the longest in the game. Though I didn't disable checkpoints for when I fought him, if I did, this fight would be even harder. In terms of which guns to use, I think in the first phase you should use the pistols for knocking the bombs back at him, so you can light him up with the stronger guns when he enters his second phase. It's also worth mentioning that there are no health pickups in this fight at all, which means you have to get through this fight without healing. And as I said before, Pedro's attacks aren't easy to dodge and do a lot of damage. Thankfully, there is a checkpoint between phases, but you can turn that off if you want. I'm not sure how I would rank Pedro compared to the other hardest bosses I've ranked in these videos, but I'd have to say he's probably harder than Wily Machine number 2, but easier than Yellow Devil, with Ultra Snatcher being the hardest of them all. And with that concludes the My Friend Pedro boss ranking. The first thing I want to say is that this video shouldn't have took as long as it did to make. I just found myself getting distracted by a lot of different things. As well, I have to deal with school, which takes up a lot of time in my day. So I don't really have the most time to work on videos, so sorry about that. I do hope the memes I uploaded tided you over, however. Anyway, overall, I'd say My Friend Pedro is a really good game, and the bosses are really good as well, though they aren't all that difficult, except for Ophelia and Pedro himself. In fact, I'd say overall, My Friend Pedro has the second easiest set of bosses that I've ranked on this channel. Mega Man 2 being the easiest, Mega Man 1 being the second hardest, and A Hat in Time being the hardest set of bosses, if purely just for the EX bosses in that game. Because holy shit, Ultra Snatcher still haunts my nightmares. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, why not leave a like? As well, if you enjoy the other content on my channel, why not subscribe and turn on notifications? But anyway, remember, just because you're spinning doesn't mean you're immune to gunfire. And see you on the next video.